Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another episode of Lack of Focus, episode 13, The Death of Second Edition. I am your host, Ed Horn, and alongside me tonight, my partner in crime and gaming, one Mr. Chad Brown. Chad, how's it going, my friend?
Hey, everybody.
And, of course, our producer extraordinaire, one Mr. Kris Sheriff. Kris, how's it going?
Good, thanks, Ed.
So, unfortunately, Sean was not able to join us. He is having some health issues tonight and will not be able to join us. And you might take note that we are a week late releasing this one. That is totally on me. I ended up coming down with some type of flu-ish thing. Ended up all feverish, and we tried to record on multiple days, and I just wasn't feeling up to it. And my voice was horrible. So it's better for you that I'm feeling better today than I was when we were going to record this. So anyway, so in this week's episode, we're going to have a couple of interesting topics. First and foremost, we do want to discuss obviously, Wave 2 has been officially released, so we've got that in the news. We got some new pilots to kind of look over and upgrades to look into in that direction. And the app has changed, in case you haven't noticed, hence the title of the show. Second Edition is no longer an option on the app. We're going to kind of give our feelings for that. And in the main topic tonight, we're going to say, well, what lists do we think are going to look good in Second Edition or Hyperspace now that we have Wave 2 announced? So all of that and a lot more coming up right after this. All right, we're back, and in the flight deck, we will cover over the squads we've been flying, any events we've been in, and any lists that we've been enjoying. Chad, I know you and I have played at minimum of one game. I don't have to get punched today. Woo! I played X-Wing.
I think you've played 2 games since we last did a show.
No, I had intentions of playing 2 games. Unfortunately, Chad had a little bit of vehicular issues and had to cancel on me in one night, which I was super disappointed. So no, we didn't get a chance to play that night. And I did install Vassal.
Yeah, we didn't get our Vassal game because we recorded that In Focus one instead.
Correct. We were going to. The initial plan was that we were going to play and talk at the same time, but that's whenever all the points costs came out, and of course the hyperspace legal stuff came out, and that just kind of like steamrolled over that. So I do have it installed. I do have a list prepared. So when we do get an opportunity to play, hopefully this upcoming week, we should be able to record that game for an In Focus and have fun with it. But we had an in-person game on the table, Chad.
Yeah, but first off, I'm going to institute a new drinking game. Every time Ed says I was going to, take a drink.
Hey, give me some credit. At least I rolled dice, even though my green dice were like, oh, wait, we're supposed to roll evades?
Don't even get me. I never want to blame dice exclusively, but oh my, I'll tell you some stories when we get to my turn.
All right, well, sounds good. All right, so Chad, obviously we both decided this past Tuesday that we were going to play Hyperspace and Hyperspace only, so we're both kind of testing the waters. Obviously with only 4 ships. Oddly enough, inadvertently, we all, between the two of us, we flew the only legal ships for Empire.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah, so I, of course, ran Supernatural Vader with fire control systems. Hal Runner was Swarm Tactics, and then 3 Academy pilots. Hence, half of all the legal ships that are legal for Empire and Hyperspace. And you ran?
I had Major Vermeil with Outmaneuver, Shield Upgrade. I had Darth Vader with Fire Control System, Cluster Missile, Instinctive Aim, and Pure Sabacc.
You had Instinctive Aim on Vader? Because I don't ever remember you using it.
I did use it because you wanted to call me out on it when I didn't have a target lock, and I said, no, I've got Instinctive Aim.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. You're right.
So Pure Sabacc with Outmaneuver and Shield Upgrade.
Holy crap, that should be hard.
Yeah, so I actually figured out that I have room for the ISB Slicer on Major Vermeil, so I'm going to be adding him to my list there.
So we bumped into an interesting thing with your list, Bill, because you started putting down a list, and then you had added Major Krennic onto...
Yeah.
The
Major Vermeil.
And then you realized that
the Reaper doesn't have a target lock.
No legal.
It gives you a target lock.
Okay, because I couldn't figure that out.
I'm sure it's on the card. I don't even know if I've got it in front of me.
See, there you go. You could have put it. You could have put it on.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure Krennic gives you the target lock action. I've got the app. I'm gonna look in the app now. You guys keep talking.
Yeah, so we obviously totally misplayed that because I didn't look at I looked at the upgrade crew card. I didn't look at his benefit. So no, that sounds about right then. Because it didn't make sense to us. We're like, well, then there's no legal target to put it on.
Right. As of right now, I mean.
Yeah, with the list that you had anyway. Anyway, so you ended up changing your list up on the fly. Didn't matter.
So the only requirement for Krennic is that it's Imperial only. It gives you a target lock action. So the way you read the cards, I'm going to show people now for
on camera if you're watching.
You read it from left to right because it's like that's how you read stuff in
English,
the Western part of the world. So like this one here, you read it from left to right. So you have to be a rebel, and then this is what it gives you. So Krennic's got a target lock in here.
Meaning that it grants you the target lock. Okay. So that's where we made our mistake. So you could have ran that. But...
Yeah, I may look at it and decide, if I do want to, keep the ISB slicer or just go back to Krennic. Yeah, so it was a rather interesting game.
Vader with cluster missile still just stupid.
Oh, come on.
Because and I know I'm almost positive we got this right. So of course he had a situation where he opened up fire where he's firing into. He wants to hit
ties.
He wants to hit Howl Runner, but can't because she's out of range. So he hits the first one, does damage to her, fires the second one off, and hits range 1 to 0 of the ship that he hit, which is Howl Runner, which is out of range of the original missile. And I went, yeah, I think that's right, but it sucks.
Yeah.
So it was well played.
Yeah, and I got all the missiles off too this time, so that was fun.
That you did.
Yeah, so you managed to take down my Vader.
Yeah, so I got lucky in the opening. In the opening engagement, we misplayed jam. Didn't find that out until the end of the game, where you were able to jam up Howl Runner, who
it's
lost
only up to range 1.
Yeah, so we misplayed that because she was at range 2. She pulled the token off. Not that it would have mattered ultimately in the end, because the first 4 times that I rolled green dice, I did not roll an evade token or evade on those dice. Not one. I rolled a couple of focus on ships that didn't have focus, but not a single evade. So Howl Runner went down super early. I thought I was being all nice. And, I ran them in a block. I kind of had a feeling where you were going to go.
It was nice for me.
Well, because I was trying to set up a trap, and it ended up if Howl Runner would have survived one more turn than she did, it would have worked out the way that I wanted it to, because I was hoping to block your Vader, swing in with my Vader from the side, and kill him, which is what I did. But then the problem, of course, came in is you had you stressed out both of the Striker and the Reaper, and I'm like, I don't know what he's going to do now. Because it was super easy for me to predict where you were going to be with Supernatural Instincts. I was like, I'm going to back up here and then turn in over here and be able to catch him. But I didn't know where you were going to go. And I anticipated you going one direction, and you didn't. And then I basically ran Vader into range 1 of all your ships, and he died. And that's basically when I quit. Because at that point...
Well, you did lose an academy also, because you were down to 2 academies at the end.
Right. So I had lost Howl Runner the very opening engagement. Lost Howl Runner the opening engagement. Lost another TIE fighter because I can't
lost
read.
Lost an academy. Yep. Oh yeah, that was fun.
Where I can't read criticals, where it says, "Well, if you don't do a straight maneuver, you take a damage." And I went, "Oh, it says if I do a straight maneuver." As I've read it out loud, I went, "Oh no!" So I took a damage for that, and then of course he got his 1 damage through, killed that academy TIE. I make my mistake with Vader, and that was kind of the game. So it was a ton of fun. I'm not necessarily blaming the list. I'm flat out blaming myself. When I walked away from that game, I kept thinking there were so many different ways that I should have attacked that list in so many different ways. I just didn't do it right. And I know what I should have done. So the next time we play that game, I think I'm going to be more prepared. I'm actually really kind of struggling with the Empire, to be honest with you. Outside of Vader, I'm struggling to find out what good escorts are there for him. Playing in the hyperspace. Well, you found good ones.
So you did play clusters wrong, because you perform the attack again, so you still suffer the penalties for the attack. The only thing you get to ignore is the target lock requirement. So it's after this attack, you may perform this attack as a bonus attack against a different target at range 0 to 1 of a defender. So you're still performing it as an attack. So it still has its normal restrictions of being a 3 dice,
which is range 1 to 2.
And the only requirement it ignores is the target lock requirement.
Oh, I agree to it.
But when it says that it is another target within range 0 to 1 of the original target.
So if you're playing against someone who's not bad, like Ed, and they go, oh, he's got cluster missiles, so I'm going to put my people at range 2 of each other. So you could never do it as a bonus attack. So it's a good anti-little mini-swarm card. But
yeah, okay. But keeping in mind, my thought process was that he wasn't going to be able to shoot Hellrunner because I put her in the back. I was willing to sacrifice. In my mind, I was willing to trade an academy for ultimately Vader. Yeah, it turned out to be Hellrunner, an academy, and another academy for Vader, which is a little bit too high of a price to pay for that exchange.
Oh, it depends. If you kill his Vader, you'd have been fine.
I did, but it took me a turn longer than I wanted it to, and then I was in a bad position after that.
Oh, and then my 2 ships ate his Vader.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Vader doesn't like getting jumped.
I guess we'll get into the main topic. So I guess we'll move on to
outmaneuver pure Sabak is pretty nasty at range 1.
5 attack dice at range 1. Didn't matter that it was untokened. Didn't matter.
Like Pure Sabak is initiative 7, so I see how you might trapped his Vader. No, she's not, is she?
Okay. And that's where my mistake came in. Is I sold way too hard on taking Vader out, that I opened up my ass end to Pure Sabak, and that was the end.
The way I would have looked at that, Ed, is that your Vader's got supernatural, so you shouldn't. Your Vader against his Vader at the end, you should win because you get more repositioning. Whereas if you don't damage Pure Sabak, we'll just keep punching you in the face over and over again until you do some damage.
Yeah, so let's run down the list of target priority being the first one. And of course, a list of shit that I got wrong in that game. Yeah. That is definitely one of them.
Lots.
What it is, to be it's perfectly honest, it's the fact that I'm not flying nearly as much as I should. It's simply because of life conditions. I can't get out to the game store, and when I play, I only ever get to play against Chad, and Chad kicks the crap out of me.
Yeah, I was going to say that's your biggest problem right there. You keep playing me.
Yeah, well, they say if you want to sharpen a sword, you have to go against the hardest edge. That's really what I'm going for. If I have a nemesis that I can't beat, that I think, and I thought about this after I left the game store. I think I've only won one game since second edition has rolled over. It was against you, and it was the first game I've played, and I've been on a losing streak ever since. It's been sad.
It's what I do, man.
It is what you do. All right, Kris, I know you have better tales than we do, so by all means, you were playing with some new ships, I saw.
Well, I did play one extended game last week before we were scheduled to record, so I'll do that one first. And I wanted to just jump on the hype train before January comes along and ruins it for me. So I did play Redline, Whisper, and Fell. So I went with Redline with advanced sensors and proton torpedoes, 61 points. Sydney Fell with Predator at 54. And then Whisper with Vader, Duke, and Collision Detector at 75.
Cloak and choke.
And just felt bad because that's the easiest game of X-Wing I've ever played. Right. There was very little skill involved in tabling. I gave him Fell. Well, I didn't give him Fell. He got Fell because I blanked out on a dice roll I let him make. So that's what happens now. He's not old Fell. I was confident that I could barrel roll and boost around and get the bullseye arc for my Predator and his focus, and didn't get it. So I was like, if I'd have just gone the other way and avoided the shot entirely, but I got greedy, so that cost me Fell, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
And that was fine against Vader and some ties. So I just, it was pretty much like your list, Ed. I blocked Vader, and then he doesn't have tokens, so I Vadered him, and he takes damage, and then you shoot him, and then he explodes. And yeah. And
then the game's over. Yeah. Effectively.
I didn't get to fire my my protons until I used the protons for cleaning up TIE fighters, because I just used Redline as a big bait to come in and kill. So it got Vader into range 1 of Redline. I was like, oh, that's good. You're now at range 1 of Redline. Everyone else can shoot your Vader though, so oh well.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. So it was really good fun. I enjoyed the list, but I don't feel like I won the game as much as the list did.
Well, if you're practicing hyperspace, you don't have to worry about that list anymore.
No, you don't. Then I played on Tuesday night after work. I cracked one of the conversion kits for First Order because I wanted to try out Super Kylo just to see how bad it actually is.
How stupid it really is. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh my.
Way worse than Vader, as we discussed offline in our conversations. The fact that he has boost on his card doesn't suffer the damage.
Yeah, so the list was Kylo with supernatural reflexes, quick draw with special forces gunner, and fanatical devotion, or fanatical I think it is, and then midnight with nothing.
Just pure naked.
Yeah. So I've got 2 PS6 shit, 2 Initiative 6 and 1 Initiative 5, and I think I only had the 5-point bid, but I know my local meta, 5 points is generally enough. And
yeah, I thought that too until Chad came with a 7-point bid.
Well, we'll get to it later. Well, when we talk about lists in the main topic, but I played against. It was 2 Skull Squadron pilots, L3 in the shuttle, in the escape craft, Torkil Mux, which was an asshole, just being Initiative 0, and a tugboat. The first game, I was like, okay, I'm gonna bait him into the center with midnight, and then swing around, crush his flank, and just roll him from both sides. What's not exactly what happened. So I moved forwards with midnight, swung around behind an asteroid, target locked the Fang that had target locked and focused midnight because of the coordinate. So it's like, you've got target lock focus. You can't use any of them now because I target locked you and I'm at range. I think it was just in range 2, but still behind a rock. So we just rolled 3 natural hits. It was fine. And then I just rolled no paint and died. So, yeah. Then it was bad. I'd supernatural Kylo in to get the range 1 shot at the Skull Squadron who was shooting midnight. And just rolled blanks. So I said, it's fine. Nothing bad's happened yet. I've only lost 1 ship. It was a throwaway ship anyway. It's only 44 points. And then he managed to get the tugboat around and he flung me onto a debris. The debris was only on the table because it was mine, and I'd just thrown some random obstacles down. I didn't think about it when I was making a list. So there shouldn't have been debris on the table anyway. That was just stupid.
Turn 0.
Yeah. I didn't need to boost into range 1 of the Fang because that negates my extra dice by it being an evade anyway, because I'm now at range 1. So I should have sat at range 2, then he couldn't have got me. And I dialed in the K turn just to be like stupid. So he put me on the rock. I did the K turn, which then wasn't the K. So I did the straight and sat in front of him. Then he shot me. I rolled no paint again. Not even like to spend force charges on. He got a crit through, which ionized me. But when I engage, but he Torkil muxed me, so I was at 0, so I hadn't engaged yet. So the next turn, I couldn't just. My plan was, it's fine. Even if he gets me on the debris, I can just 5 straight and it's blue. I'll be out of the 5 straight blue, boost barrel roll, it's all gravy, nothing's going to catch me. And then he's poured a lot of shots into Kylo, quick draw will be in the mix. None of that happened, I just trundled 1 straight and just got annihilated.
Jeez.
Quick draw took a couple, I think I got like 46 points or something from the game. I was like, okay, do you want to reset? So we started again, and then I didn't make that mistake. I took all of the rocks that I put down off and played the correct rocks. Actually thought about the game, and yeah, Kylo, if you actually put any effort in, is stupid. So notice I said if you put any effort in, not if you are good.
Correct.
Because you don't have to be good with a supernatural ace. Like it.
You had equated it to pre-nerf Whisper back in the old days of Wave 4, where you have so much. You already have all the advanced knowledge that you need to determine what direction you're going to go and if you're going to boost and barrel roll off.
Yeah. So I set Kyle up on the wide right, and he set up in a big block in the center. So he controlled the center of the table. He moved down, and as soon as he had any ship banked towards where Kylo was, I supernatural barrel roll to the left, boosted left, and then did the 2 hard around. So I've moved, I think it's almost a range 3 across the table with that. And I've done nothing. I didn't. That doesn't take skill, being range 3 away from where I was laterally.
Yep.
And then I did the same thing.
And you have to be turned in their direction.
Yeah. So I got my shots off. I dodged 4 out of his 5 arcs, sat in front of a ship I wanted to kill, annihilated his quad jumper, and then bounced the other way in the next turn because he had to turn back. So he turned back into the rest of my list. Kylo did exactly the opposite move and was now behind him. It's like, oh, this is fun and engaging. I feel like I'm trying really hard now. Yeah.
Oh my god. So basically, he's just doing a dance across like a horizontal line across the board. I'm so good
at this game, Ed. It's like I felt like an X-wing god. I'm so talented. I mean, I felt like had it not been after work and the store was closed, people would have been bowing down at my customers would have been piling in just to see.
People were like holding you up on their shoulders and stuff.
Do you know who he is?
Do you know who he is?
Like, dial in a 2 hard and have boost and barrel roll with auto thrusters written on your card. Oh, job done. Sold. Yeah. Like.
And you're only burning 1 force to do that.
So you burn 1 force charge. Right. So okay, we'll cover it now.
Let's work for those who don't quite get how that works. Let's run through the step-by-step mechanics.
So supernatural reflexes is you spend a force charge to either boost or barrel roll before you activate. So Kylo's got 2 force charges. The secret to using supernatural Kylo is it doesn't have a pilot ability. You ignore that text on his card that says about showing people the dark side. That's irrelevant. He has an extra soft mod in case you roll blanks. Does happen, by the way. Reference game 1. But like, you don't care about showing people the dark side. You care about being able to supernatural and have an extra soft mod on defense if you need it. So you'd either boost or barrel roll depending on which one you need. And then, if you choose to, you can use auto thrusters, which is after you perform any action, you can do a boost or a barrel roll. So you barrel roll and boost, or boost and barrel roll. It stresses you, but you dialed in either a 2 hard or a 5 straight. Like literally, that could be the only moves on the dial. It's not, by the way. It's got 1 hards, all the 2s are blue. It's got talon rolls in the K turns, all the 3s.
Doesn't matter.
The blues go all the way up to 5 straight. It's ridiculous. It's so good. And yeah, you just dial in a 5 straight or a 2 hard and react to what your opponent did. Oh, look at that. It feels like you might be able to shoot me. I better boost and barrel roll the other way. And
then turn hard. Because I'm conceptually, for those who are in the audio format, so basically if the ship's sitting directly in front of you, you're boosting to your right. You're barrel rolling to your left. You're boosting soft left, and then turning hard 2 in. Yeah. Correct.
You can. There's different ways of doing it. Yeah, you can if you think about if you're to a left hand side, you dial in a 2 hard left, and that's a disengaging move. You're moving to a table edge away from where the fight is. So that's a safe move that you didn't need to put any thought in at all. Like, you're running away. Then if he commits onto you and you have any opening, you boost, you barrel roll to a right and back, boost right, and then that suddenly becomes an aggressive too hard, which sits you just past their arcs, and you just shoot them in the back.
Yep.
I'm so good at the game. After seeing where you put your ships, I got to pick my ship up and put it where I want. Skill. Yep. Yeah.
And I'm trying to think as I've thought about that combo. They're not going to change the wording on supernatural defense or supernatural reflexes. They're not going to change his dial. So the only way that they could even potentially fix that would be to point increase supernatural reflexes.
So I don't.
And even at that,
so
I don't know.
This is a separate problem now. If you right, okay, how shall we go into it? We'll just open the show with it, I suppose. If you look at the way that bidding works now, that list I just spoke about has got Initiative 5 and 2 Initiative 6 ships. So if I take this list only had a 5-point bid, but you said people like Chad took 7.
Correct.
I think in that red line list that we're talking about, people at PAX were taking like 14-point bids. Ooh. That 14 points, and like you can make a Kylo list with easily a 10-point bid. So we're going to run at 10 points just for the sake of discussion. That 10 points is actually a buff to Quick Draw, Midnight, and Kylo, because Correct. It helps them all move last. Correct. It also can't be destroyed until you kill my last ship, and it doesn't give up half points. So if I've got my Kylo, if you do Supernatural Prime Thrusters, is 102 points for Kylo. So you've got to, but he gives up half points, so it's all okay, right? So 50 points, or 51 points is what he'd be holding on to if he's still alive at half points. But it's not 51 points, it's 61. So my half point plus bid is now more expensive than half of the ships in the game. Yep. Because the bid is tied to the last ship that's alive. And if you kill Kylo first, that's fine, because Midnight is not 44 points now, she's 54. Oh, you kill Quick Draw's left? That's fine. Quick Draw's worth an extra 10 points now, best kill all 3.
Yep.
And if you're playing against a half-competent ace player who doesn't want you to kill one of their aces, you're not getting it. Running is perfectly fine. So bringing it back to your point of increasing the points of Supernatural. Supernatural is currently 12 points, right? Make it cost 20, that's fine. My Kylo now costs 110 points and has my bid. So,
and still is as brutal as he was before.
Yeah, so now I hold more points in my unkillable ship. Well done. You lose by more now.
So it's going to be an interesting meta when we start seeing that ship.
So I don't know how you fix it, other than like, personally, I would be extremely happy if it wasn't in hyperspace. Extended, do what you want. There's so much stuff that just does everything in Extended that it doesn't really feel that bad. But in hyperspace, I don't know what can hold it down. I think we were talking about it might have been with someone else I was messaging. It's like Paul probably bully Kylo, and if you're good with Vader, you can bully Kylo, but the burden of execution is on the Vader player there, because the Kylo player has a better dial and boost and barrel roll on the action bar, so the burden of execution is still on Vader whilst he can bully it. Then can just die to one shot, and then what else is there in hyperspace really? Supernatural Luke can't do that 5 straight disengage, so can't catch him reliably. You need to kill him in the open.
And Boba can be out-arced by that thing easily.
Boba's not going to catch a Supernatural Kylo, especially when you get to ridiculous bids we're talking about.
And then he doesn't even need... So, like, the other... He's got, what, 3 Force charges on him?
2.
2.
Yeah.
So, but he's only regenning 1 per turn. So there is that he can't do it every single turn.
No, he can, because that's what I said. You don't. His power doesn't do anything. You ignore the fact that he can show you a dark side. Because so you never spend it on that. The only time you ever spend 2 is if you need to spend a force charge to prevent damage that would put you at half points.
Wait, so don't you have to spend a force charge to supernatural?
Yep.
How are you getting both boost and barrel roll?
Auto thrusters.
It's the ship
ability.
That's the part that I missed.
Yeah, so he's got the same ship ability as the TIE Interceptor. After you perform an action, you can perform a red boost or barrel roll.
Okay, and then you dial in the blue maneuver and it blows it off.
Then,
so it's not.
And then you get your and it's not advanced sensors, so you still get your action phase. So I have a focus token as well. So to kill me, to make me spend my second force charge, you have to burn through my focus token, and then hit me again, for me to need to spend a force charge. Yep. Which means I have to have let you shoot me twice. With the ship, I'm actively trying to stop you from shooting me when I've got perfect information and pre-dial revealing movement. Good luck. I don't know. It's just, and this is from me. I was the one playing it. I'm not complaining about playing against it. I'm saying that this stuff makes me seem like I'm good at X-Wing, and trust me, I'm not. I don't know.
It's really good.
Playing against Whisperfell Redwine with this feels fine. I feel like that would be a good fun game. You're both doing massive bids, trying to outthink each other, doing all of that. You've got 2 initiative 6, they've got 2 initiative 5, and it becomes a game. Playing against like Luke and Wedge, and they're like, yay, and you're like, okay, whatever. Like, playing this in hyperspace feels a bit dirty. But if FFG is going to let me do it, I don't need friends. I've got super fat Kylo.
Well, I guess it answers the question of how well those 2 factions are going to do when they come in. At least we know one of them is going to have a killer ship on the other end.
Yeah.
Do you have any other games you want to talk about, or have we've gone on long enough on that one?
Yeah, I think that was my only games. Just do the news, I suppose. That kind of covers half of the news anyway.
It does cover half the news, but let's kind of get into it. So, of course, if you haven't been paying attention, Wave 2 has been officially released, and Wave 2 consisted of the First Order and the Resistance. The release article is up. I don't know that anything new came out of that release article. I'm looking through all the pilots now as we're talking, and yeah, Advanced Optics I don't remember seeing. Which was
spend a focus to change a blank to a hit.
Correct.
Yeah, but it's basically a reprint of a first edition card. It's nothing massively new. Really good on A-Wings because you've only got 2 attack dice anyway. Really good on FOs, but you're paying points for it, so you've got to decide.
Yeah, it is a generic. It's not First Order specific. It is a generic, so that can go anywhere.
Yeah. I also the guy I played actually who had the quad jumper was talking about wanting to put it on his quad jumper so that he can like do damage with it. I'm like, dude, pattern analyzer, just do a red move and then tractor beam me. Stop being an idiot. You don't care about your shooting. Exactly. But it's good. It's good on 2 dice attack ships where you're unlikely to be spending your focus to convert 2 eyeballs. But the way it works, obviously you're rolling 2 dice, you're probably going to roll a hit and something, which becomes 2 hits no matter what the second dice is. If you roll 2 focuses, you spend a focus to turn them both. If you roll 2 blanks, you can still get 1 hit or keep it for defense depending on your initiative. So it ups the chances quite significantly on a 2 dice attack. On a 3 dice, you're probably going to be wanting to spend it for converting more focuses than blanks. I don't know.
Now, since you cracked open, I know this question's going to come up. Since you cracked open, I assume you cracked open both the Resistance and First Order.
Yeah.
So do you get all the pilots and upgrade cards?
Yeah, they do have the extra packs in there. It's actually quite interesting how it's laid out. It might be an indication of how they're looking at doing the releases, because obviously when they did the extra stuff in the Empire Scum and all of that stuff, it was from the ships that they put out with second edition packaging. You get the extra pilots for the Upsilon and the FO, and you get extra pilots for the T-70 and the Bomber.
How many T-70 pilots were
there? So I'm in the middle of editing the video for the unboxing video, and I actually bought one T-70 pack because I wanted one T-70 with a wings move. And I was like playing with it for a little bit, obviously, because I'm a child. But then I was going through the pilot cards. I'm like, I'm still going. I think I'm still counting them now. It's like
12. I think there's 12 pilots that come with that ship.
I've got the app here. I'm just gonna look. Yeah.
Well, it makes me wonder. So this is a conversation I got into on Tuesday. It makes me wonder, releasing that many pilots for one ship makes me wonder how much they intend to touch Resistance moving forward 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the life of the span of second edition. Is this all we're ever going to see in the, as far as Resistance pilots are concerned? I'm sure the show is going to come up with...
If you include generics, there are 12 T-70 pilots.
Yeah.
You get enough dials to fly 4 T-70s. But I have to say, LOSD, his subtitle is now the best in the game. LOSD, Born to Ill.
Born to Ill.
Wow.
Yeah, he wins. I'm done.
He wins.
I'm
looking at that now.
That was just crazy.
Born to Ill.
12 pilots for it, though. I know, theoretically, I know what they all do, but I couldn't tell you because I'm just blank on them now. Is that many? Decision paralysis comes in.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, so, I mean, obviously, Poe's going to be the top end of that one, but there's so many other good support ones on there on top of that. It's just interesting to me to see, like, okay, so TIE Fighters, that kind of made sense to me because there's so many TIE Fighters that you're going to fly. But other ships, we're not seeing that volume, like X-Wings, for example. I remember, like, the T-65. I don't think that there are that many T-65 pilots. So it really makes me wonder if they feel the resistance, well, no, maybe that's not the right word. If they feel they recognize it outside of the Resistance TV show, how much more can they genuinely add to the First Order?
There's still a movie to come out. There's still all but like the Upsilon pilot, Captain Cardinal, is from the book. He's a really good one. I really liked his ability, and he wears a red Stormtrooper armor. Like, he was the big bad Stormtrooper before Phasma came on the scene, and he's pretty cool. But he's one of the ones in the extra packaging. So like, if they do the pack, that wouldn't surprise me if the first batch of ships we see for Resistance and First Order would be the Star Fortress, and obviously we've got the T-70. Yeah, the only thing that did kind of annoy me, I suppose annoy is the wrong term, but I bought the T-70 X-Wing, and you have BB-8 in it, and BB-8 also comes in the conversion pack. So I'm like, I'm doubling up on uniques now.
Yep. Whereas they didn't do that with R2-D2, for example.
Well, he comes in the core.
Yeah, in the core only. So in order to get him, you had to buy the core set to get him.
Well, it's fine, I suppose.
No, I think it's one of the things that I've always had an issue with the layout of their core sets. I understand why they do it.
Another interesting one, sorry, Ed, was... remember we spoke on the In Focus Hyperspace thing, which should have been out for everyone to listen to anyway while we're late. But we were talking about the hexacrypt codes being not legal for hyperspace. That card came in the extra pack in the First Order, not in the actual conversion kit. So it obviously in the conversion kit, but it was packaged with the stuff that came extra. So that's interesting that it must have been a late addition, or it's part of the Upsilon, or I don't know. But it's just weird that it was packaged there, because that's the first time I've seen an upgrade in it rather than like just the pilot cards.
Yeah. No, it is kind of interesting. But anyway, so it goes back to my point. Like, so whenever Galactic, the Republic comes out, and you only ever want to play Jedi, you're still
Supernatural
required.
Jedi. Ed, come on.
Yeah, you're still. Yeah, it's going to be Jedi. Nobody's going to do anything else. Everyone's going to run Jedi.
When all of your ships can just take Supernatural, it's even more skill.
Right, but in order to play that, you still technically need to buy a core set, which is buying ships for a faction that you don't intend to play. It's one of the issues that I've had whenever we started getting Scum entered into the game, where there was like you had to buy a core set and other ships you want to play. I think that there could be a potential of doing, okay, you have First Order and Resistance, you have Republic versus Separatist, kind of, so that you can kind of get ships that you need based on that. But I understand why they're doing it that way.
What? How would you be lacking in Scum?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
When the Squadron boxes come out, how would you feel if they did a damage? If they did an Ether Sprite damage deck and a Droid Fighter damage deck, which they sold separately, and they produce their own plastic range rulers and like template set or something?
Yeah, see that would be fantastic.
But would you buy them though? If you planned on going, okay, I'm all in on Confederacy of Independent Systems, so I'm gonna buy the Droid range rulers and the Droid damage deck, and I don't even need a core set now because my Squadron pack comes with 3 cloudy things.
Myself, no, but that's because I'm going to buy everything X-Wing anyway. I'm thinking about the new player to the game.
Yeah.
The new player of the game that says, oh, wow, I love Clone Wars. I love that TV show. I want to play as the Jedi. Oh, wait, I've got to buy this other stuff. Well, I don't want to play them. So they end up half the cost of the core set are the 3 ships that come with it that you're just going to put on a shelf.
Yeah.
So if they did something like that, I'd be all for it. Because it allows that new player to come into the game without the necessity of purchasing the core set. I mean, you can make arguments. Well, the rocks are in there. Yeah, but they could, like you said, they could sell blister packs. Here's all of the legal rocks. Here's plastic range templates. I'm actually really surprised that during the first edition they never went that route. To just do like generic versions of that. They let the third market kind of dominate that area.
But that and OP, wasn't it? Which becomes the aftermarket stuff. So I would be surprised if they didn't at some point look into it, because as they get more and more into being like a miniatures gaming company as well, with Legion, Rune Wars, all these other games that they do. In Armada, you can buy the bendy sticks separately.
You can buy the dice separately.
How long until you can just do that? The only thing they've never done is sell damage decks, but they did print the X-Wing damage deck.
Yeah, I love mine.
So I don't know.
Yeah, they could just as easily
more often.
They could just as easily do a core components pack that came with, even if they didn't do plastic, even if they did it in cardboard, that just did cardboard templates, came with a damage deck, came with a handful of tokens, and that's it. Like, it's a couple of dice, and that'd be your core components. They could sell it for $20.
Yeah, we've got a core box for Rune Wars. It's like $30 or something. Just comes with cardboard.
Yep, exactly what I mean. So like they absolutely could do that.
He's thinking of the new players because that's how he plays, like a new player.
No, I'm thinking.
Yeah, you do. Oh, yes, you do.
Okay, I do play that well. I do play like crap. I'm not going to lie, but that's not the reason why I'm thinking. I think about it whenever I try to target our audience. There are half of our audiences are experienced players that want to hear us talk about X-Wing. The other half are people that are trying to learn about the game, and I always try to keep that in mind. And I like to think about those players, especially 2 years down the line when we have 7 factions in the game, and someone sees that and they go, "Oh, wow, I want to play this game." I'm trying to think of the cost effectiveness of someone new coming to the game, because that's usually the entry barrier for anyone trying to start a new miniatures game. Think of it this way: if you wanted to start playing 40K right now, how much money do you need to put into it to get an effective 1,000-point army? Do you know what I mean? Oh, and then you need this $60.
You need a bank loan.
Right, you need this $60 rule book. Oh, but wait, you don't have the book for your army. You need to buy that $50 book. But wait, you don't have any miniatures yet. Now you need to buy these, and these. That's going to be the bare minimum. Like, do you see what I mean? And then that sticker shock for new players really becomes, all right, well, that's just way too expensive. And they're right. GW it is an expensive hobby, whereas it's just a little bit more of a cost-effective way for a new player entry to get into the game. Buy a core set, buy a squadron pack. And you can play right now.
You forgot to mention the third half of the people who listen to us, the people who listen to hear me make fun of you.
Yeah, there are those folks too. And we welcome you all. So super exciting. I'm going to have to probably run out this weekend at minimum.
Chris caught it.
At minimum, I've got to get the first order just because I do want to fly Kylo.
I've got a tangent as now. Just.
Oh, no, by all means.
For my stag do, so I was still living in Scotland at the time, and me and my best friend, still my best friend now, flew over to New York for my stag do to go and watch Amir Khan versus Polly Malignaggi at Madison Square Garden. And it was a really good weekend. We did like 3 nights in New York. And we went to, obviously, before the fight, went to a bar, it's an Irish bar. I was talking to a barman. And it's like, where are you from? It's like, well, I'm English but live in Scotland. He's Scottish. It's like, all right, I'm like half English, a quarter Scottish, half Irish, 3/4 Dutch. I'm like, yeah, good.
Yep, that math adds up.
100% American. There goes all of our audience. Done. Left. Boycott.
That's all right. So I'm a mutt. I'm not gonna lie. Like I think I've got so many different things that I do have a little bit of Scottish in my heritage, which is the reason why I wanted to go to Scotland and see it for myself. It's a beautiful country. I was actually in your town. We had talked about this. That's where I saw Solo. It was in the movie theater that you've been to. Yeah. We're jealous. I for all Americans, we're jealous because all of our heritage is tied into other countries because we're immigrants to this country. Unless you're a Native American, you're an immigrant to this country, and you came from somewhere else.
Yeah. It's just I don't mind, but I don't get worked up about, oh man, no, those French people really did us in the Battle of Hastings. Or yeah. I have no idea. I'm from Wigan. My grandparents don't. I think one of them might have been from Cornwall, but I didn't go around telling people that I was like a quarter Cornish when I was in England. You know, I don't know. I've got no idea. It doesn't matter. I'm from Wigan. Whatever. No.
Well, there are certain things like there are certain people that are like, oh, well, he's Welsh. That makes sense. That don't they do that? At least
I get like, oh, I'm like European now for another few months at least, and then I go back to being British again, and it's all fine. You know, we can do politics on this show. We've got a superior thinking, like intellect level of audience.
They're about to. They almost kicked Theresa May out because she can't figure Brexit out. Maybe that's because it's not a good idea, and there's no solid answer to that question.
So I don't care anymore because I live in Canada, so it's good. Do what you want.
As long as you get your boot right, you're good.
But there was an interesting post that my British friend shared on Facebook, and it's like, okay, let me explain why Theresa May can't do Brexit, and whether you agree or disagree, it's just a funny anecdote. But it's kind of like they said, shall we have a vote on if you can make a submarine out of cheese? And then the public went, yeah, that seems like a really good idea. Let's make a submarine out of cheese. And the guy who said, let's have a vote was like, what the fuck are they doing? Why are you going to make a submarine? I'm out. I'm done. See ya. So Theresa May came in and was like, yeah, okay, you want a cheese submarine? Well, get on it. So she sat down, drawn up her plans. This is your cheese submarine. And everyone's like, that's a fucking shit cheese submarine. Like, well,
it's a cheese submarine.
Yeah, it's a submarine made of cheese. I don't know what you wanted.
That is a really good analogy.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't care.
I was reading somewhere that they're thinking about really calling it for a revote. Like, do we really want to do this?
That's the death of. That's how democracy dies. to thunderous applause when he announced a revote.
Yes. Thunderous applause. We pulled it back to
damn you, Jar Jar.
I love. All right, so we're pulled into Star Wars for a second. That's one of the things about the prequels that I love. That that Lucas wrote and said, "Oh, everyone hated Jar Jar. Let's make them hate him even more. Let's give him one more reason to hate this character."
It's good, but ultimately, like anything in politics, it doesn't matter. It's only temporary. Like if the UK, when the UK leaves Europe, it'll be crap for a little bit. And then it'll either stay crap or get better. And it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
It'll all work out.
Yeah.
That whole
Nothing
economy
actually
thing
changes.
based on the English sterling is going to be fine.
Yeah. It's fine. No one else can... I don't know how you guys do it, not being in the free trade zone in Europe. You guys must really suffer. All of those other countries in the world that have to deal with Europe through the standard trading agreements, it's impossible. The world will definitely end. You should all stock up on bottled water and medicine now. If you're listening in the UK, the end is nigh.
The end is not. When is that? That officially takes place it takes place in February, right? That's the official date for the official Brexit.
Yeah, I think they're trying to push it back and stuff. It's good fun. This is a real news topic and everything. We've got political news, world news.
How the hell did that happen?
If a wildfire still going on in California, is that stopped now?
I think they've tamped it. Well, Kurt, I think there at someone I saw a joke on Facebook. At some point in time, something in California is always on fire. It's just a matter of the size. Yeah. We could. Wait, I don't want to get into U.S. politics. I'll lose half my audience. I don't want to do that.
Which half?
You lose half. You lose half the audience when you sit there and go, "I didn't play a game this show."
They just come back to listen to you mock him, though.
Yeah, that's the whole reason.
Yeah, you got some football news you want to share? I don't know.
Yeah, the Steelers are sucking, and they're about ready to get their butts kicked by the Patriots next week, and I'm gonna have to deal with Bob gloating over me for a week.
No. The Steelers do good against good teams. They do bad against bad teams.
Okay, name the last good team that they beat.
I'm trying to think of a good team they played.
Right. Belichick is going.
The Raiders aren't supposed to be a good team. I mean,
no.
All
right, we've covered sports. Weather. It's kind of cold here in North America. Go outside and look. It's cold. I've had snow.
Really? Is that what happens in December?
In the Northern Hemisphere, that is exactly what happens. And no, the Earth is not flat. It is absolutely a sphere. Now we've covered science.
So, okay, you know what the flat Earthers thing was?
Oh, God.
You know that was started on 4chan? You know that was a 4chan thing? Well done, 4chan. You actually won that one. Hands down. You just had their eyes clean out on that. Let's convince people that the Earth is flat. And now it's like, no, they were joking, but it is though.
Yeah, it was a joke, but it is.
Oh dear. Anyway, okay.
I can't understand that. There is. It's the easiest way to say this. There is a certain type of human being that is prone to conspiracy theory, and are blinded by their devotion to that conspiracy theory to the point of insanity.
That's just what they want. That's what the government want you to think. That's a chemtrails. The chemtrails make you think that.
When I can go into my backyard and measure the circumference of the Earth, there's problems. Oh, but the math's wrong. Well, no, the math's lying to you.
So if I say that the water's making the frogs gay, will I lose my Twitter account?
The freaking frog's gay. I love that song. Have you ever seen that where they took him say that turned into a song? Oh my God! I almost wet myself every time I see it. It's so funny.
We've covered some current affairs as well in our usual 6 months out of date kind of way. This is how we should do a show every week, man. Oh dear!
You should close the show with that song. I don't want the water to make the freaking frogs gay.
Wow!
Because now we could get into constitutional things because he got bumped off his medium. He got bumped off of YouTube. Got bumped
Private
off of
corporations can do what they want.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
You do have the freedom of speech. You do not have the freedom from repercussions of that speech.
I'll record a thing sounding like him, and I'll be like, that the water's making the freaking Mon Calamari gay or something,
Oh dear.
We just found a new bit. We're gonna do. It's gonna be Jar Jar Jones or something like that. We've got to do something.
We're gonna take viral videos and make them Star Wars.
Oh, me to think that's a bad idea. Oh dear.
Oh. Okay, so that one way off topic. So we're gonna try to pull this one back on our main topic and talk about lists that we think about that game X-Wing that we talk about that we think are going to be good going into hyperspace Wave 2 because it can't even call it second edition anymore. All right, so we'll get back onto that right after this. All right, we're back, and in the main topic, we're going to talk about the 5 factions we now have in X-Wing, and what we think is going to be the lists that come out of those, the top ships, top builds, that kind of thing, as far as competitive, the little bit of competitive that we'll talk about tonight. I know we kind of led into it, so let's kind of focus in on the 2 new factions that we're looking at. Obviously, Supernatural Kylo is going to be a thing. Anything else out of the First Order that you're seeing? Because I'm trying to imagine, so am I just going to be running in with FOs? Is there an FO swarm in there potentially? I don't even know how good swarms are, to be perfectly honest with you.
So do you want to do just hyperspace or extended as well?
Just hyperspace. This is just going to be just hyperspace. Because right now, that's the competitive format that we're in.
One thing I would have mentioned for people in extended, for some reason, no has a talent swap. So at initiative 7, because until he's taken damage, it's initiative 7. Mm-hmm. You can give him squad leader to give him a red coordinate. Ooh. At initiative 7. And if you're an extended, you can do this is just stupid. The hexacrypt codes. So you can target lock him, fly him to the other corner of a map, and coordinate from the other side of a map at initiative 7. And then if they damage you, you get to coordinate them at initiative 0, which I don't know if that's worse.
Fair argument.
Alright. You can't now block my move to stop me from coordinate. I don't know. So, yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah. Obviously, all of that still works in hyperspace right up until we hexacrypt code things, because that's not in there. But you can still give him a coordinate with squad leader. So,
and there's nothing stopping you from doing that.
All right. Obviously, the Upsilon is awesome. So
yeah, you were kind of leading into some of the pilots in that one. Let's kind of get into that.
Yeah. So I know we touched on it when it was spoiled and up to it being a big old gun platform. But what really stands out to me now that I've played a little bit more second edition is its action bar. It's just all white.
Yep.
Would you like to reinforce because it's white jam?
Go for it.
White coordinate. Especially when you've got Major Stridon is still stupid good, 63 points, but you can coordinate out to range 3. If you put upgrades on him, you can count the range as being range 0 to 1 instead of range 2 to 3. It's just good. So while you coordinate or resolve the effect of one of your upgrades, you may treat friendly ships range 2 to 3 as being at range 0 to 1. It's just good. So Stridon and hooks is pretty amazing. This is pretty good.
That's pretty brutal.
And then you've got the one that really, when I was unboxing this First Order box, TIE SFs, it is for a Zeta Squadron Survivor is 34 points. And you get 5 dials in the kit.
Oh, wow.
Do you know how many it costs? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships, and I've got 30 points left. So I can have 5 of them, and I can put missiles on all of those, and then I can shoot the missiles out my bum. You can fit 5 of the Initiative 3 ones in there if you like, and take EPTs for some reason. Or take Duke.
Because why not?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why not.
How do you feel about swarms though in second edition though? I mean, have you played against a bunch of them? Because I got to tell you that, granted, I'm horrible. I admit that, but I am not having any luck with them because they just seem to get wiped off the board. Whereas with something like that, where they're a little bit sterner, maybe.
So, swarms, the burden of it's not hard to play a swarm. It's just tiring. It's one of the things that I want to stop telling people. Oh, it's hard to play. It's not hard to play a swarm, really. 80% of the people you play will just fly into your kill box anyway, and look at that. You went through the effort of putting it there. I might as well let you kill me. No one's gonna try. But I still think if you're gonna go swarm, just generic TIE fighters, or do scum TIE fighters if you like. I don't know.
Yeah, the mining guild.
Okay, yeah, this is what if you want to swarm First Order, you can take 5 Omega Squadron experts with Duke.
Oh, nice.
So that's 30 hit points.
Yep.
With shooting out of front or back, and Duke, and the evade's white. So,
and they're constantly going to be like, yep, nope, no, focus, no. Oh, look, all these are going through now.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
So if you own 5 Special Forces TIE Fighters, crack on. Good luck. You only need 1 conversion kit.
I had a tough time finding one back when Quick Draw was the thing.
Yeah, I've got 2.
That's because you don't go to the store.
I know. Well, they didn't have it at the store. You had picked it up for me at some other game store, remember?
I got it from Barnes & Noble, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where it was? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The silencer. The silencer's strong, but Kylo's stronger.
Yeah, it's Kylo or nothing. It's sort of like Boba with the fire spray. It's like Boba or nothing on those.
Yeah. An interesting one I do like, again, was Captain Cardinal. He's the most expensive of the Upsilons. But his ability, while a friendly ship at range 1 to 2, with a lower initiative than you, defends or performs an attack. If you have a charge, you may reroll 1 focus result. Or that ship may reroll 1 focus result. So
and that's a rechargeable.
No,
charge,
he's got
correct?
2 charge. It doesn't. You don't spend
gotcha.
it. You just have to have a charge. He's got 2 charges. After an enemy ship at range 0 to 3 of him is destroyed, you lose a charge.
Huh.
But you can have, if you can keep your ships at range 1 to 2 of you, but be beyond range 3 of the ships they're shooting at, you keep your charges, even if you kill them.
That's interesting. Did they do that with?
It's like having soft wired built in all the time.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. I would use it if I planned on invading a lot with some juking ships, for example. Being able to re-roll the focus results, it seems okay.
Seems pretty okay to me.
And then the only problem with that is you're playing 64 points for a 4 attack dice ship that you're not getting in the engagement. So
yeah,
it's definitely if it was re-roll 1 die, I'd pay like 70, 80 points for this ship. Rerolling focuses isn't as good. I don't know. It
doesn't come up nearly as often.
But there's options there, and I'm kind of sold on the fact that I like the character in the book. So, fluff will carry me a long way.
So basically, for First Order, it's Kylo plus.
Yeah,
competitively.
For now, out of the gates, it was Bubba plus stuff. And then you kind of find out that Fenn's really good and can carry a list on his own. Palob was really good and extended. Stuff like that. And
the quad jumpers turned out to be pretty good and extended.
There will be more stuff. Yeah, I think there's a lot of value in those Thai special forces. Those Thai SFs are just super cheap, and yeah, it's only a 2-die attack. But the other thing you can do as well, because they've got the gunner slot to give you the special forces gunner, which is what lets you activate the 3-dice attack out of the front or the double tapping shooting forwards and back. What you can do is just take veteran turret gunner, which lets you, because they've got a front arc and the mobile arc, so you shoot out the front and then you shoot out the front again with your mobile arc, and you have Duke.
Oh,
so
jeez.
You can't get 5 of them in that way, but you can do enough. But I don't know if veteran turret gun is in hyperspace or not, so maybe they just hate you.
Good question. So it does occur to me though that unless I'm missing a pilot that I'm not thinking of, is the First Order the only one that can fly 2 pilot skill 6 now in hyperspace? Oh, I'm sorry, initiative 6.
Yeah. First Order can get to, well, you can get 2 pilot skill 6 and a pilot skill 7 or initiative 7.
Correct.
You can, well, the Resistance can do it with Han and Poe.
I forgot about that. Yeah, no, okay, you're right.
Wedge and Han in Rebels. Vader, yeah, is the only 6 in Imperials because Duchess is only a 5, I think. And Scum, you've got just Fen.
And
yeah, none of the ties are 6s. Yeah, so just Fen. Yeah, so Rebels, Resistance, and First Order.
Okay, so it is more than just, but so I'm beginning to feel an Imperial bias here.
It's Han plus if you want to do it, so you're going large base turret. You know,
I'm sorry to crack, but Chad just put up turn the freaking.
Everyone will have seen it if you're watching the video.
Yes,
Okay,
I've done it.
That did it. That did it. I broke.
That lost me my YouTube channel. Awesome.
You have to make that video now.
So yeah.
Anyway, so Vector Resistance, it's basically Han plus. Like, we're doing Han Poe. You and I actually talked off camera, I think it was off camera anyway, about a Han Poe list that would actually be pretty brutal as well.
Well, I was trying to figure out what I want to try with Poe, and I was looking at Poe and Rey, but let me bring the squad up just so I don't get anything wrong. Hanron Polo.
Hanron Polo.
Yeah. So it was Han with engine upgrade and Rey is 99 points. So the benefits of Rey pilot are obviously if you've got people in arc, but I much prefer flying sideways and broadsiding people to flying at them with the large base ships. That kind of playstyle facilitates your engine upgrade as well, where you get the options to get out of those arcs. So to convince myself not to do that, I've took Han as a pilot. Well, fair enough, his ability, you can be placed anywhere in the play area beyond range 3 of enemy ships. Whatever. Yeah, it's effectively blank. But then Rey's... I need to click edit because it's the app.
Mm-hmm.
While you defend or perform an attack, while you defend or perform an attack, if the enemy ship is in your mobile arc, you may spend 1 force charge to change one of your blank results to an evade or a hit. So you get better defense. Her ability will activate more naturally because of where you're flying it, rather than if you've got the arcs to the side, you're not going to have people in your front arc where you use as a pilot. So I feel like there's a bit of a better synergy there. That's 99 points. And then my Poe Dameron is 93 points. And that's only because I dropped I dropped afterburners. So I can have like I mean, I can put it in, and it's 200 points. It fits. So it's 101 points now, and he's got afterburners. But heroic Paul, because I don't think heroic's good, but I think it's funny because I want to be able to tell people, oh, I rolled all blanks, but then I was heroic. I heroically picked up my 2 blanks and rolled them again, and still died. Yeah. So BB-8, this is just a crazy move. I was thinking about how much you could move. When we're talking about Supernatural Kylo, this is why Paul can bully him. So you've got BB-8, who has 2 charges. 2 charges. Before you execute a bully maneuver, you may spend 1 charge to perform a barrel roll or a boost action. Okay. So if I'm going to reveal a blue, I'll reveal the 3 straight. So I'll barrel roll. Then Paul will let me do a boost as a red action with his ability. So I can then boost. So I can barrel roll right, boost right, 3 straight. Then I can use black 1 as my actual action.
Yep.
To swam with a 3 hard.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you're only doing it once, but that stuff is some crazy repositioning. And I'll do it probably once and then regret it because I lost me the game because I swam off a table or something. But and then I've got heroic BB-8 black 1 pattern analyzer, so that if you do a red move, you can still perform 1 action, which just focus, keep yourself alive.
Yeah, just need focus anyway.
Yeah, or reposition if it's going to dodge your UV arc, but whatever. Proton torpedoes, because they're only 9 points, as we discussed a couple of shows ago.
Yeah,
they're like
infinitum with the red line.
They're 2.5 points in old money for 2 torpedoes or whatever.
Can't beat it.
Oh yeah, they're just stupidly cheap. It's awesome. And then afterburners. So you need an extra reason to get boosts, and S-foils because they cost 0 points.
Yeah.
So two PS6 dodgy ships that you hope you don't get shot too much with.
Sounds fair enough. What about your beloved scum? Obviously, we've got Boba being kind of the heavy hitter coming out of that. Finn's still pretty good too, and you can squeeze both of them in the same list. But I've seen a bunch of stuff, but we are talking hyperspace here. We get into extended, there's a bunch of cool things going in there. Payload gets in there. You start seeing more of the quad jumpers, things like that. But beyond that, it's almost like the list that you did for second edition is kind of like the it list for Boba.
Boba doesn't really need a bid, so you can go. When we originally spoke about him, and I think I did a list with 2 Skull Squadrons and Boba, was like my very first Boba list.
I think it sounds about right.
Like that feels pretty good if you want to fly Boba. He does keep access to Marauder and Handgunner, so you can just what's good in extended, so it'll be good in hyperspace, and that's obviously barring any stupid points changes. But the efficiency on Bubba is going to be good. The problem you're going to run into if you do that is that you're going to be flying against people who are trying to actively not play the game. And Bubba's strong when you get to play the game. When you get to be at range 1, shooting, people are rolling dice at you. If they're just using Paul or Kylo to just not fight, that's where you want to be looking at Fen being pretty strong. I'm still convinced that the Lando's Falcon and Han has actually got some good value in there.
Got some teeth to it, yeah.
I was playing the meme list. Sorry. The list I was playing was very much like a meme style stupid list, but I think you can do something pretty decent with it. And then there's actually a lot of synergy in the mining guild ties as well, and they're pretty cheap. So some combination of Fangs and Mining Guild ties could actually be pretty good if you want to run multiple ships.
They're not nearly as maneuverable as the other versions of ties out there, and they don't have all the same tricks and fun, but they are cheap filler ships.
Yeah, I think the 5 straight's red on these ones instead of white, and then that's pretty much it.
Oh, I thought their tiles were more different than just that. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm pretty sure it's only a red 5 straight.
That's that lack of the. It doesn't have all the solar panels. That's why it doesn't have the power to do it. Oh, now he's gonna pull them out.
No,
he's looking.
I can't see it easily, so I'm just not gonna bother. If it was easy, I'd do it, but not if it takes effort. Oh.
All right, so I've left the last two for these last two for last for a very specific reason, because I feel like of the 5 factions, these are the 2 that are kind of the weakest, genuinely in the meta. We'll go with my beloved Empire. Outside of Supernatural Vader, I don't know what else is good with him.
I showed you.
So I don't know what you think about this one, Chad, but I think Supernatural Vader's actually a trap. Yep. What do you think about, like, Vader, so you could run into a potential to run out of force with Vader, so maybe hate Vader. So when you're taking damage, you're getting that many force points back. And just fire control system and just brawl with him.
Yeah.
You're not looking to, like, I don't care about getting him to the end game to, like, be my high points ship at the end. What I care about is punching you in the face as hard as I can and you not getting back up.
Yeah, that's how Chad flies him.
Yeah, like, I think that's where Vader would come into his own. Because the chassis doesn't have it. Like, you don't have a boost. Afterburners is expensive, and I can't see it getting cheaper in January. But Vader just taking hate and fire control system and nothing else. How many points is that now? I love having the app. It's so good.
Right at your fingertips.
I mean, it does kind of ruin the flow for sure, but hey ho.
I don't know.
Like there was a flow to begin with.
True. Hate 3 points. Okay, so 76 points for that Vader leaves you a lot of points to actually, like, you can get a good Reaper and some strikers in there and just, like, punch. Literally, you just punch people in the face. Oh, look at that, I'm initiative 6. I don't actually care, I'll just joust you. Whatever.
Yep.
And Vader's gonna be tight lock focused every turn, and just whatever, man. Do what you want. I wouldn't even put missiles at him. Keep him cheap because you want him to. He's gonna go down. But yeah, I think that is. I'm reluctant to say better, but perfectly viable.
No, I would agree with that. All right, so getting down to
Duchess.
Duchess is
Duchess is actually Chad's. You've done. Do you want to talk about Pure Select, Chad? I'm assuming you've used him a bit.
Yeah, I do use him pretty good. Like we said earlier, the game me and Ed played, I had outmaneuver and shield upgrade on him. I think Ed did pop the shield that was on him, but never got any damage cards to go. So I was able to keep his ability going a little bit longer with the maneuverability of the advanced aileron and just the dial on that ship. I mean, you can easily put outmaneuver on there and be outside of, most people's firing arcs who are a lesser, initiative. Even some who are a higher initiative, as I showed Ed. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, look, your Vader is sitting in between my 2 ships with outmaneuver. Good luck.
Yep. And it worked. It
worked, yeah. I mean, I enjoy Pure Sabak because he gets the extra die temporarily. It's kind of like back in first edition with, stealth device, where you got that extra die temporarily, I kind of like that. So, I mean, I make Pure Sabak work. The Reaper, I think, it's a good ship and everything, so I like using it. It's a little bit bigger version of the the striker, but
it works. It does work though.
It works against Ed. So if you're playing against Ed, there you go. You know what to do.
Okay,
you were mentioning Duchess though.
Let's have a. You could do which one's the offensive Reaper? While you defense, not that one. While you perform, so Major Vermeil. Yeah.
Yep, that'd be the one.
That's the one I was using against Ed.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. So we'll go Krennic and Tactical Officer. Maybe? I don't know.
Ooh.
Krennic, Tactical Officer. And then you give it, I don't know, what skill do you want? Maybe.
Wait, what did you have on him? You had outmaneuver. No, you didn't have outmaneuver on the. Yeah, you had outmaneuver on it.
Yes, I did.
I don't know. I don't know that you really need anything on him at that point. So at 186 points, you've got that Vader, Pure Sabak with Duke and Shield upgrade. Because you can coordinate onto him the focus, so you can have a Duke focused shot with Pure Sabak at range 1, rolling 5 dice. So
you put slicers on him though too, didn't you, Chet? Well, that was
instead of Krennic, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna do that because it was pointed out that the jam tokens go away at the end of the turn.
Yeah,
correct.
So then that's why I looked into, after the game was over, I looked into putting the ISB slicer on him. But I don't know. I mean, Juke's not a bad upgrade for Pure Sabak, but I think Outmaneuver, is just as effective.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, with Outmaneuver, you're going to eliminate a die completely, but you have to be outside their firing arc. Whereas Juke, if you're jousting them, you're pretty much going to get Juke, but more than likely they're going to hang on to that focus just for when you fire at them with Juke. So,
which is fine, because it means he didn't spend it while Vader was punching him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So one of the things that came into conversation about Wedge, which pretty much is like Outmaneuver, is that the dice that Wedge took away might have been the blank anyway. So you don't know how it's one of those it sits in a weird space where you don't know how effective it is.
Yeah,
you can do the math, but I don't really enjoy when it comes to dice rolling math. I don't really enjoy looking at it because each roll's independent. So you can go. So that first game I played where I rolled 4 lots of blanks on 4 green dice in 4 dice rolls. And that's why if you do the math of the likelihood of them happening in that order, it's astronomical. But each die roll was independent of each other, so it doesn't matter. It's in all of the dice rolled all in the world that it was going to happen at some point. It's, you know what I mean? So that's why I hate doing super in-depth math on the, not even super, just the math of the dice rolls are good to know to make your decision, but when you get into a moment of physically rolling those dice, if they don't come up, that's fine because it's still dice. So that's where I personally prefer Duke, or if you're gonna be taking the evade, which I think's decent on Sabak because you're trying to protect your damage anyway to keep the ability up.
Right.
And can get the focus from Vermeil coordinating because Sabak's going to be the target anyway. It makes Pure Sabak bigs and also helps punch him in the face. And if they're rolling 3 dice and they roll 2 blanks and 1, the chances are the dice you would have taken away would have been one of the blanks. So then Duke's better. Maybe. Possibly. I've convinced myself there, so it must be right.
So it must be right.
But yeah, and it's cheaper. But not that points is an issue in this build at the minute. We're at 86 points, and I don't know what else to do.
Well, what else? You had mentioned Duchess before. What else would you be putting on her?
So,
if you decided to go her route as opposed to.
So Duchess, I really like. So again, Chad, you've been flying the striker. And how do you like the ailerons and stuff? The pre-dial options and stuff.
I like it. I know with Ed, it's definitely a big thing, but I've noticed other people too. They'll sit there and they'll take longer to try and figure out exactly what I'm doing because I've got that extra like 3 little things I can do before I do my move. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that really attracted me to the Phantoms back in the day. Was you don't really 100% know where I'm going to be. I could be over here. I could be over there. I could be up here. It's just the extra movement. I really enjoy that. And I sit there and I'll tell people, I'll be like, yes, I have to plan a move before I make my move, you know?
Yep.
And I sit there and I see it. I visualize it all in my head. And I sit there and I go, okay, well, now that I've got this extra move, I could possibly go up and bump somebody and then pull off a move I wouldn't be able to pull off normally, because now that I'm closer to them, I can actually make that maybe like, sloop or whatever. And whereas if I had just done it from where I was originally, I would have never made that move.
One of the
I
other
like
things
maneuverable ships.
Yeah.
One of the other things you can do though is you also have the built-in bailout move too.
Yeah.
Like if something goes wrong and I didn't expect them to go there, you can just bank the other direction and just bail out.
I've done that too. Yeah.
You can use it to
which is some of the things we used to do with
stuff as well. My move will clear, but then I'll get shot. So if I aileron the other way, I'll then bump into them and can't get shot. There's loads of things, but specifically when you apply all of those benefits to Duchess, she got cheaper in comparison to what she was, and the initiative value sits at a more competitive level now, being I5 is infinitely better than being pilot skill 8.
Yep.
Because VI isn't a thing anymore. There's far more ships that sit in there. Like Kylo, Luke, all of those kind of things. And the other buff that she got is you may choose not to use your adaptive ailerons. That's the same. You may use them even while stressed, is what got added, which loads of people don't even think about, because the dial on the Striker is terrible and slow if you don't have your ailerons, and switching the ailerons off is actually a really, really strong tactic against them. But Duchess can just ignore it. You always have that option of doing it or not, so that actually makes it like having advanced sensors, boost barrel roll type thing. There's so much you can do with it. I really think that there's a lot of value there. She's not going to hit as hard as a pure Sabak. She's not going to be as tanky as a Countdown, but you've got the options to make her harder to fly against and give your opponent headaches. So I think there's a lot of value in there, and she's 42 points compared to 44. Like, outmaneuver Duchess is the same price as Duke Pure Sabak.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're definitely, somebody who likes to, really, really do all the outmaneuvering and everything like that, with a ship, then Duchess is definitely the way to go. I've got a bit of my my 40K tendency still in me, where I like to play Corn Berserkers, like to get in there, I like to bash you in the face, and I can fly the ships really well, so I combine, basically an alpha strike with maneuverability as much as possible. And that's why I run Pure Sabak, because it's got the maneuverability, it's got the punch you in the face aspect. It's just, kind of how my play style's developed. Whereas, maybe if I wasn't so much of a punch you in the face, then maybe I would be flying like Duchess, where she's more maneuverable and stuff,
Okay, so if you, instead of taking a Reaper, you can do Vader, that we spoke about. So Fire Control and Hate on Vader, Duchess, Wampa, and Pure Sabak. So it's
funny that you went that direction, because that's the same list I'm sitting here building.
Yeah. You've got 8 points left to put stuff on people if you want to. And I wouldn't be scared of taking a 200 point no bid at all with this list. If someone outbids you, that's fine. My Vader was just going to sit in front of you and trade punches anyway. So
in your list, did you have Duchess and Pure Sabak naked?
At the moment, they are. I've not put too much thought into whether I would want what I'd spend the eight points on, whether I'd want upgrades. I feel like
just for example, or
having maybe Duke and Duke, maybe no. I'd definitely put. I don't know. I'd be tempted to leave them all naked actually and take a bid. Because you've got Duchess as well, you'll benefit from that. So, because the choice then, if they shoot at pure Sabak to try and put damage on, they've not shot Wampa, so Wampa's a 3 dice attack.
Correct.
If they shoot at Wampa, it's one less chance to put damage on pure Sabak, and with this list, you wouldn't fly them in formation at people. We'd all be coming in from different angles. So, yeah, I don't know. I think there's choices there, and that's if you want to go Duchy. Like, if you're happy to go just unnamed pilots, you can probably get. Oh, it doesn't quite fit. Yeah,
4 of them. Yeah, I tried that.
Yeah, I definitely think strikers are the way to go if you're gonna just take that style of Vader, though, just because of the extra attack die.
Yep, I agree. That's one of the problems that I'm having with TIE fighters is they just, I mean, they roll damage dice, sure, they just don't put enough through.
Not yours.
No, not mine. All right, and then the final faction, of course, to discuss would be the Rebels, the ones that have been most people are whining quite a bit about how Rebels perform in hyperspace, and I'm not seeing a ton of Y wings floating around. They're really limited on the U wings, so you do have Han.
So U wings
and
are
then
really
an X-wing.
U wings are probably undercosted.
You think?
Yeah. So
all right, plead your case, counselor.
Okay. Partisan Renegade is 43 points, and an X-wing. Okay, so compare the Partisan Renegade to the Cavern Angel Zealot. For 2 more points, I get an extra hull and an extra shield. I don't have barrel roll or boost, but I can stop and rotate.
You do?
Does lower my agility, I'll give you that. I get a sensor slot. You get torpedo slot. I've got a coordinate to help the rest of my squad. And I'm only 2 points more.
Don't forget that illicit slot.
Yeah, and well, the Cavern Angel Zealot's got it as well. I was looking for the cheapest X-wing.
Okay, that's true.
I wanted to do the initiative to initiative, both being 1. So, yeah, I feel like and again, we're talking about it before January, so we could revisit this in like the middle of January if they've gone up. But at the minute, I think there's a lot of value in the chassis of the U-wing, because you're getting the same attack and agility as an X-wing. If you do that as just purely doing it off the costing of a hull upgrade and a shield upgrade on an agility 2 ship, yeah, you're getting, what was it, 11 points of value for 2 points.
That is a good argument. It really is. I might have to give this a try. I have one. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet.
Just one, and literally you don't even have to do anything with it really. Throw tactical officer on it so your coordinates white, and it's 45 points. Your configurations doesn't cost anything. You can, if you want to, take advanced sensors, and that puts you at 53. But even I'd be tempted
so that you
to
can focus before you turn.
Well, yeah, before you start. Well, no, you can coordinate before you crash into people because you want to block.
Oh, there's that. Oh, there's that too. Yeah.
And remember, it's initiative 1, so you can be horrible with it. You could put Magva Yarrow on it. After you defend, if the attack hit, you can acquire a lock. I'm initiative 1, so you're going to shoot me, I'm going to shoot after you, and I'll have you locked because you shot at me.
That's right.
And
it's one of the things I loved about turn missing back in the day.
Yeah, so advanced sensors, Magva, and tactical takes just 60 points. And you will die. Don't get me wrong, you will die. But you're
going to be a problem while you're dying.
Yeah, they have to kill you.
Yeah, they can't ignore that shit.
Anything. Wedge and Luke in there as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Initiative 1 coordinates. And then, can you get torpedoes on them all? Let's have a look. Protons and protons. This is going to be horrible now. It's going to work. I can feel it. Yeah, so that U-wing with Wedge with protons and Luke with protons is 192 points. Again, you've got 8 points left. Luke, you can do some stuff with him. I don't know that I would necessarily need anything outside of that. 71 points for that Luke. Use him in the same way as that Vader we spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
You've got double modded torps every time without coordinating onto him. So you coordinate onto Wedge for focus. He moves last, gets his target lock, so he's got double modded torp. Luke just moves and target locks. He's got 2 force charges for his shot, so it's almost double modded. You spend both of them, they shoot at him, he gets one back. So
that it?
And you've got an 8-point bid. Done, sold.
Not bad. Not bad.
In fact, screw it. We're going to take off Magva because it's excessive. And now, would you look at that? I've got enough for Supernatural and a 3-point bid.
Ooh.
Who knew?
Who knew?
So yeah, I wouldn't write off a U-Wing.
I'm gonna have to save that squad. This is something fascinating about having the app the way it is. I'm sitting here actually being able to build these squads as I'm talking to you, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to try that. So they're not as dead as everyone seems to think.
No, Wedge takes a lot of flack because people overhype his ability, but is not paying that many points for it, really.
Yep.
It is 4 points more expensive than Thane. Thane's ability, the internet thinks it's broken. I'm not convinced. So if we say that Wedge is paying 2 points for the extra bump in initiative and 2 points for the ability, I would pay that tax for Initiative 6 when we're playing against Kylo.
Yes,
I agree. This is a world with Supernatural Kylo, so you might want to drop if you're worried about that, you might want to drop advanced sensors, take an 11-point bid to guarantee you get your nuke strike on Kylo with Luke and Wedge moving after him. But even without, I think that's pretty solid. I'm like, you get points for Astromechs if you drop the sensors. There's options in that list. But yeah, I think having the bid and sensors, and there's arguments each way. Sensors let you coordinate and then stop, so you're not in range to get shot. Or you can, like I said, we can run into them. You can do lots of different things. But a 45-point caddy for Proton Torp Wedge and Proton Torp Luke doesn't seem too bad to me.
I tend to agree. All right, so not all of them. It's not all the doom and gloom that everyone seems to think. I guess we're going to start seeing some of that come out of the wash.
And me and Sean spoke about it ages ago. Selfless is brokenly, stupid good. People aren't doing it, but it's stupid good. Biggs is good. Biggs and Selfless as in other things having selfless to pull off from bigs, and there's nothing like. What are you going to do? If you roll a crit, are you going to spend your target lot to re-roll it in the hopes that it becomes a hit? Fair enough. Not every shot is going to have a crit in it, but it costs 1 point to ruin your opponent's focus fire. How often, when we used to talk about flying swarms, and we talk about breaking off a ship so that we can't focus fire, what about if you could stay in formation, keep shooting at full effect, and ruin their focus fire for a point?
Right.
Selfless is good. People just aren't taking it.
Interesting. It's like aside from, no, that's probably the first one of the quote unquote faction specific talents that we've really kind of like focused in on.
Yeah, I don't. Ruthless is interesting. Fearless is good on specific ships. Take Fearless on your Fang Fighters and Profit. It's fine. It's like winning.
It's like winning.
So Fearless. Heroic is just for the anecdotes you get to talk about afterwards. Like, you will think that Heroic is better than it is because all of the times you didn't roll all blanks, your mind erases from your memory because that's how your memory works. And then Fanatical's awesome.
Yeah.
Fanatical Quick Draw is funny, by the way. So if I shoot Quick Draw, he's going to shoot me back. So the best thing to do is not shoot him. Okay. What about if you shot me and took my shields, I then got to turn a focus to a crit? That's even more reasons not to shoot me. You know what happens if you don't shoot me for the entire game? That giant bid I was talking about earlier gets added to my points.
It's staying there.
Yeah. Fanatical's so funny. It's so good. I really like it. It's 2 points. It could probably be 3 and still be good.
All right, so I think that's going to cover it for this one. I'm actually a little overtime because I was hoping to go to bed early because I was up at 5 a.m. to go to work this morning. So,
boo-hoo.
I know. So we're going to go ahead and close out the show right after this. All right, so that is going to do it for episode 13, The Death of Second Edition. This has been fun. I'm really looking forward to next week's show to kind of get Sean on to kind of get his opinion on some of this stuff. But we do have a few things, obviously, we need to cover. First of all, I'd like to say goodbye to my good friend, Chad. Thank you so much for joining us today, Chad.
Oh, thanks, everybody. Just want to... do you want me to go ahead through all the stuff, or did you want to do the questions?
We'll do the questions first, and then
do the questions. That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot
we always
we
do
had
questions, man.
I apologize.
So all right, let me. I want to hit refresh here real quick because we have 242 people reached, and we only had 3 people answer. Come on, guys, you can do better than that.
Yeah.
So
maybe giving them less than like an hour's notice would have helped better.
It's kind of like it's my fault, but
he posted that 2 hours ago. And we, like I said, we reached 242 people, and only 3 actually stepped up. I mean, anyhow. So Matthew Budney asked, favorite Wave 2 theory crafted lists.
Okay.
I think we talked Supernatural Kylo to death.
Yeah, I think we kind of did answer that one pretty.
That is easily my favorite list.
Entire episode.
That is easily my favorite list. I think that it's definitely gonna be the first one that I try coming out of the box just to see how bad it is. I was like Chad. He and I both played Whisper to death whenever Whisper was a big thing, and I am feeling kind of missing a ship that is that maneuverable in the game, and with perfect knowledge of knowing where every ship on the table is already.
Do you feel like there's nothing pressing underneath your armpits, like those crutches?
Maybe. I may need something to help stand me up to start getting me back into relatively good X-Wing play. So yeah,
you are old. You could use a walker.
Hey, I'm almost there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
complete side note. Took the kids to professional wrestling in West Newton over the weekend. It was fans bring the weapons night. So like there were people that were bringing crutches and walkers. There was some dude in there that brought like fluorescent light tubes and stuff. It was crazy. It was pretty fun. So
I would have shown up with a prosthetic leg just to throw it into the ring.
Somebody
and have everybody question it.
Somebody did. So somebody took that. So
nice.
If I can recommend a good time and good for the kids, take them to
someone from the audience. Right.
Yeah.
Independent League Wrestling. Boy, was that interesting. Anyway, come on, continue.
So,
wait, anybody else have any other lists beyond that? I mean, obviously we talked about the Kylo list seems to be the star of the show for this one.
He wants Wave 2 specific, so I kind of like that Vader we were talking about, and the Rebel one seems pretty fun. For Resistance, we didn't really cover it, but I do think you can do some fun with A-Wings because they've got 2 talent slots. So I was joking about take all of the ones that've got 2 pilot talents. You can take Heroic and Predator. So that when you roll, so you've got your 2 attack dice. When you roll a hit and a miss, you can Predator to roll your hit into a miss. Then you can Heroic to re-roll your miss to see if you get a hit. You can't re-roll the dice you roll to get the other miss, though, because you can only re-roll a dice once.
Correct.
Yeah. So it lets you re-roll your miss with Heroic, which you wouldn't have got to do unless you just use Predator to re-roll it.
That's interesting.
Okay, it's stupid, but it's funny.
It's funny. All right, Chad, moving on to the next one.
I like this one here. It's actually one of those gift things you can put up on Facebook. So Jake Riem wants to know, what is your quest?
What is your quest?
What is your quest?
Okay.
My quest is to get better at X-Wing, to play more games and get better. That is my quest.
Your quest should be to know that I said Kris, not Ed.
To listen better.
I missed that.
I've got, you can't see it behind me. This box here is the A Song of Ice and Fire miniatures game. And that is they're all the core stuff with the Starks and Lannisters are on the bookshelf at the back. But that's the Night's Watch stuff. And I really want to do some painting on them, but I'm super busy with. We started a Tale of 4 Gamers thing at the store, so I'm trying to hammer out these stupid Nighthaunt stuff, and I really want to be doing that. So that is one.
Is that FFG as well? Because I know they have the license.
That's cool. No, FFG have the license for a Game of Thrones. This is A Song of Ice and Fire. So they
sub-license it out that way.
Yeah, this is Cool Mini or not. That uses a lot of the old... I can't remember. Dark Horse, maybe? Dark something sculpts that were in metals from a while ago. But I played a game of it on our Facebook live stream at the store last week. It was super good fun. Reminded me a lot of Rune Wars and like 7th, 8th edition fantasy, but with Game of Thrones stuff. The non-combat units seem really interesting. So my quest is to see if I can fly out to the Crate Cup 4 in North Carolina that the Carolina Crates are doing, just so I can play a game of The Song of Ice and Fire with Name and Chambi. I'm not going to take any X-Wing. I'm just going to go and play. I'll help them judge or record or do some content or something and just play A Song of Ice and Fire. So that's my quest.
You said it's like 6 and 7 fantasy, so is it like rank and file trooping, kind of like the same thing as like
it's very low fantasy, so it's not like loads of magic and stuff like that. Like it's true to law, but the movement's super simple. You get to pivot before, move straight, pivot at the end. If you're charging, you can't pivot before. Everything's got like fixed movement. You can double it if you're marching, but it's really elegant. But was pretty cool. And you've got like Cersei Lannister. There's a non-combat board, so you do alternating activations. So if you've got like 5 units on the table and a non-combat unit, you can activate the non-combat unit at the start. And if you take like the maneuverability one, you get to do a free move with one of your units. So I was like sending one unit charging up the field really quickly, and then the next turn I managed to claim the combat one, so I got to do a free attack with a unit that's in combat. So you get to attack twice with that unit, but there's only 5 areas. So if you take 5 non-combat units and play them all before your opponent plays any, if they can't use any, and it was pretty interesting. Darn. Yeah, I liked it.
D6 based?
Yeah.
So similar, like weapon skill, ballistic skill, kind of a concept as how you're hitting it.
Same. Even like modern 40k, where it just tells you 4+, 5+, 3+ type thing. No like math to do. No rule of 7.
No roll of 7 to roll. Oh, I was really good at that. Yeah, I can count to 7. Yeah. Chad, what is your quest, or is that just Kris specific?
No, it was to all of us.
Oh. No, it was to all of us. I was going to start with Kris, but you jumped in front of him. That's why I was like, you know.
Well, I'm sticking with mine.
My quest is to make fun of Ed and corrupt his children.
Too late.
And I'm doing a very well job of it.
Have I ever shared the camping story on air? Have I ever mentioned that? We went camping. There is a dark park in northern Pennsylvania. I really into astronomy. Whenever I'm not doing geeky gaming stuff here, I'm doing geeky stuff at home. And there is a dark park in northern Pennsylvania. And a dark park is something where there is 0 light pollution, so you get to see all of the stars capable. It's fantastic. You can actually see the Milky Way swath right through the night sky. It's amazing. And we were building a campfire that night, and we may have gone a little overboard and may have added a whole bunch of wood and got a really, really big fire. And one of my youngest children, my youngest son, walked up to me and says, "Dad, you better be careful. Chad might show up." Because I was summoning Chad. I thought that was cute. Anyway, it was funny at the time.
It was.
Final question.
So lastly, we got good old Zach Matthews here wants to know, what's your favorite forum or Facebook dumpster fire from 2018?
Okay. We'll keep it X-Wing related, I suppose, because we've already gone on off topic.
Yeah.
For full-on dumpster fire, trying to remember some of the good ones, because there's been a lot of garbage this year. I'll just do a personal one for me. It was when my Rule of 11 article came out, I got flack for stealing the idea of a Rule of 11 from the guy who did the X-Wings Tips and Tactics YouTube channel.
Yeah, where he only did like 11 videos or something, and then just kind of like dropped off.
Yeah. And I was like, well, the article I wrote had to be about jousting and flanking, so the Rule of 11, because that was my brief. And the guy who did the article who did the YouTube stuff, didn't invent Rule of 11 either. It was picked up in playtesting. Like, was people who were in playtesting knew about it. It's a fundamental part of the game. But yeah, one guy was convinced that I was a charlatan and should have credited my sources, and that was a bit of a dumpster fire.
Even though the person who originally did that video didn't credit the source where he, admittedly, he did a fantastic job explaining it. I don't want to like throw it.
I said it. I commented, and I was like, I wish I did have done more content. It did really good content, did a good job, but none of it was groundbreaking. Original. It was all explaining the core concepts of the game in an understandable manner.
In a visual manner.
Yeah, which is what all content creators strive to do, I think. I don't know. But yeah, that was my my favourite dumpster fire, because it was all about me. So...
My favorite dumpster fire had to have been when 2nd edition was announced. Holy crap. Did that set the X-Wing world on fire? You had people that were going to rage quit the game. You had people that were, and they still were. I know a ton of people that like sold out of their collection. I'm never playing this game again. Like that to me was probably my favorite one to sit back and watch, because there's the whole part of me the entire time all of these people love this game. I know they're coming back. I know they're going to play X-Wing. So I don't understand what all the hate's about. Like, the game's been around for a while. It's time for a bit of an edition change. We all can feel the bloat. That one was my personal favorite to just sit back and watch.
People who are going to burn their first edition stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad. So I admittedly, I don't want to claim credit for the idea because I had mentioned it whenever we started. I'm also glad I didn't do it. Because there's some stuff that's really hard to find now.
Yeah.
Like focus tokens and evade tokens. Oddly enough, there aren't a ton of those in the core set. Chad, do you have a particular favorite one?
No, I don't really get on the forums or look too much at Facebook when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm usually out there finding all the like really weird and twisted memes and sharing them with everybody. And if I actually went on the forums, that would be like doing work for the show and being prepared.
Being prepared.
Stuff I don't do. Come on,
right? All right. So I think that answers all those. Next time we will get that question up at the beginning of the day so that you guys have more time to answer those. So Chad, you want to go into your bit of a spiel?
All right, everybody. Hey, thanks to all the fans. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You can hit us up on that Facebook page, Lack of Focus. Get us those questions. We'll try and read them and answer them as best as we can.
Email them at any time.
Yeah, you can email at lackoffocuspodcast@gmail.com. You want us to review any lists of yours? You want us to?
I want to hit on that one. Where I know that we've kind of offered that at the end of every show. I don't think we've gotten a list submission.
No.
So
no, we did.
I would love
old
to
days
sit
of
down.
NSR.
Yeah, I would love to sit down and go over some lists and see what other people are flying. I feel like we're a bit of an echo chamber. We all kind of talk about each other, like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea, but we never hear any of those outside lists. I'd love to, if you've got a list idea that you want, like, hey, try this one out. This one's really good for hyperspace. Let's hear it. Send it on over. I'd love to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, we got all the audio formats you can listen to us to. Pretty much anything you like, we're there. We're on. If you're watching the video, we're on YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Comment
at good analytics stuff.
Tournaments. Yep. Yeah. Then, of course, as always, that guy up in Canada, he's, footing the bill for all this himself. He does all this work for the show, more work than any of the rest of us combined. So if you wanted to, kick $1, $1 a show or $1 a month, whatever you want, patreon.com/lackofocus. It would be greatly appreciated. Yeah,
you might qualify for.
Look at that poor man. Look how tired he is.
I know. You might qualify for a giveaway or something. We've done stuff like that before. Oh, wait a second.
We've done those things before. What's that?
If you're watching on YouTube, he might be holding something right now. Chris, why don't we?
Pac-Man fever.
I know. Chad, are you buttoned up, by the way, so I can kick it over to Chris?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Chris, always good to talk to you. We've got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, so I figured with Christmas coming up, we'd try and give back as well, because I don't mind footing some of the bill myself, and it's really nice that most of the time, if we keep going as we are now, the majority of the bills for the show, for the hosting, because we're hosted on obviously SoundCloud, Podbean, all of the editing software I use to put it together. It costs a couple of $100 a month, and it's mostly covered. And just to say thank you for all of the patrons, we're going to give away one of the Mining Guild ties. So it's going to go to one of the patrons, and I think we're going to do it on our next show. So we would have recorded this on the 6th of December. It's currently the 13th.
Sorry for getting sick.
Yeah. Well, no, the 6th was you were working. Then we're going to record on the 9th because I couldn't do the 7th or the 8th. So it was a combined failure.
This is true. So the previous recording is I had server upgrades to do, and then it was Chris couldn't make it, and then it became I got sick. So now we're recording this a week late.
Yeah. So
I failed this city.
We're gonna.
I did.
I'm watching Arrow at the moment. Actually, I've never seen it before.
Really? Oh, it's so good. I do not understand how DC can suck at making movies, but make such great the Arrow Flash universe that they've got going on in the CW. It's fantastic.
So
they should have the writing. They should have the writing team doing the TV shows, do the movies. End of discussion.
Aquaman's supposed to be really good, apparently. So the next recording is scheduled for the 20th of December, before Christmas. And we'll be coming out, I'm going to put it out on Boxing Day, on Christmas Eve, sorry, so it will come out a day early. But this show will only come out on the 18th. So it gives you the 18th and 19th to get signed up to Patreon if you want to be eligible to win a Mining Guild tie. It'd be no cost to yourself other than being on Patreon. And it will be drawn on the 20th. So thanks a lot, everyone. I really appreciate Dice Hate Productions. They're my favourite. Because, again, it's all about me. Ed, Sean, and
Mediocre Podcast,
Jerry, Michael, Peter, Ronnie, and Tommy. So we've got 9 patrons at the moment, and I thank every one of you. So if no one else signs up, there's a pretty good chance that myself, Ed, and Sean aren't eligible, because screw those guys.
Yeah. So friends and family of the show are not eligible for contests.
Well, I'll post it worldwide. I'll suck up that cost for Christmas for you guys. I did want to say thank you for everyone. Every time I post an episode, the number of downloads is going up instantly. We're getting better numbers every time. We're getting more and more followers on all of the different platforms. So I really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the In Focus show we put out. I did do a little...
The 2-hour marathon that we did.
But I put it out as this week's show, so that everyone got access to it on our normal feed.
Oh, that was nice of you.
Well, because we were late, I didn't want them to miss out. I didn't even charge the patrons for it at all or anything. They got a free show.
Good call.
And that kind of content is going to be on our Patreon page. You've got to go to it to listen to it. It's a little bit more effort. But if you guys like it, give us a feedback. If you want more of that kind of stuff to come through the normal feed, we can work it out. I'll have to open discussions with our Patreons. So obviously that's one of the advantages they get. But if you want more of that style of content, just let us know. And like I said, we're open to feedback, and it doesn't even go back to dials or anything. It's lackoffocuspodcast@gmail.com. Send us feedback on how you want us to do it, any improvements or people you want on the show.
Go in the tournaments.
Yeah. But no,
bring back Bob.
It's been... I really wanted to do an In Focus show with just one guest, go through the entire cast, get one person on and do a show of what they're doing in X-Wing now, and if they're even still playing. I know
where are they now?
Yeah, that kind of thing. But we'll see what it can work out. That's it from me. Again, thanks to everyone who's been listening. It's made it really worthwhile. It's been an interesting year. It's gone from the joke of Nova 2.0 that we recorded back in May to episode 13. We've missed one week, which was last week, but as long as we record again next week, we get still caught up again. And yeah, I know I'm really enjoying 2.0. It's been a good change for me. I'm really happy. I'm playing more X-Wing now than I ever have in the past, even with all the other stuff that's burning me out. So
excellent. All right, so that is going to do it for episode 13. Always good to have you guys. Next episode, obviously, we're going to try to give a little bit of a giveaway. We might do kind of a year-end closing kind of review. I'm not even sure what the main topic is. We practically made this one up on the fly as we started the show. So until next time, guys, we will see you. And as always, fly casual. Thank you once again for joining the Lack of Focus X-Wing podcast. Check out Dice Hate Productions for all of the latest episodes, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you again next episode.